Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another one of my Beating the Self series. This is actually the second time I'm recording. Well, actually, technically speaking, like the third or maybe the fourth time I'm doing this. Second time I'm recording it today because I had my stuff set up in a way that it wouldn't have worked. So, if you're familiar with my Beating the Self series, or I should say if you're not, this one's going to be a little bit different if you are familiar with it. Slightly different. We're doing 5-stock, unlimited time, because that was what the problem was. I put on like 6 minutes, and we got down to like the last stock, and I was just like, you know what, I'm not gonna. Yeah, you can tell who I'm playing. I'm not gonna do time because we're not gonna get through the stocks in time. Wasn't enough time. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call the series, whether it be Smashing the Self or Smashing My Brothers. I don't know what it's gonna be called. It's gonna be called something. But for those that are not familiar with Beating the Self in general, basically I fight in a mirror match on the hardest setting. Usually I have to win 2 matches. It doesn't matter how many matches I play as long as I just win 2 of them. There's no best 2 out of 3, none of that. And 20 minutes is usually like the cutoff. So if I don't finish something in 20 minutes, then it's basically a scrapped video. And I don't have to play everybody. I'm just going to play until I basically get bored of the series or of the game. And I'm like, I don't want to play anymore, whatever. So not everybody's going to get played, I'm sure. We might not have any Steves showing up anytime soon. Who knows? It depends on how much fun I have with it. Now, another stipulation I have. Okay, we're going to be doing 5-stock because I think that makes the most sense for something like that. And another stipulation I thought of was I'm going to be playing my favorite skin or color of that character, what do you want to call it, costume, and I'm going to be fighting off my least favorite of the costume. So, and Final Smash meter is on, but not Final Smash itself. No items, yada yada, you get the point. So, I will try to play on the same map that these characters somewhat technically come from. And by the way, spikes, if I land a spike, good, fine and dandy. But there's no necessary need for that. As I remember, but when I first tried this series, I had an idea of what if one of the stipulations I have is I'll win one match, and then I'll switch to my second favorite. Or if I lose a match, I'll do 3-stock, and if I lose a match, I'll switch to my least favorite costume or something like that. But then I decided today to change it to, well, I'm just going to do... what the... is he even on level 9? Bro does not feel like what he was doing to me earlier. I had a good match, too. But the problem is I ran out of time. And that's what kind of pissed me off. Because we were both on 1 stock. I had him to about maybe 50 or 60%, believe it or not. We actually ended up getting sudden death of all things. And I got texted right at the same time. I'm like, I don't want that showing up in the video because I don't like noises showing up in my vids. Same thing with Discord noises. I don't want people hearing that stuff. Sometimes it can happen. It's fine. But, if the video's already going and good enough, then whatever, so be it, right? Yeah, like I said, Final Smash is on. Sorry. But only in the terms of specifically just Smash meter. Because it feels more like a fighting game. Now, I could have done stamina instead of percentage, because that would technically make it more fitting for a fighting game. But it's Smash Brothers, if you're going to play... don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with playing stamina, it's just, well, I'm playing Smash. I might as well just play Smash. And by the way, if I lose an entire 5-stock, then I will do my... I'll retry. Basically, I'm going until I win a 5-stock. That's the thing with Smash... Smashing the Self for right now, currently, is just go until I basically win, I guess. Unless it's 20 minutes over, and then it's alright, well, I have to scrap the video. Now, in terms of other things, this is more important, I guess, to people that are familiar with my channel more so than those that might not be too familiar with. Well, then again, it does, if you were curious about anything else I do, of course, this would be something that you probably want to listen to, maybe. But I do Let's Plays and sometimes stream and other things of that sort. And I want to talk about Let's Plays first because well, this actually goes into effect with something that had happened recently. I had recently thought that my Elgato was broken, only to find out that I had the HDMI in the wrong port the entire time. Yes, it wasn't Elgato that was broken, it's my own head. So, oops. Kind of a funny story, slightly, but that's pretty much just the end of it. I had the HDMI plugged into the HDMI in when it was supposed to go to the out, toward the console or whatever. I mean, toward the TV. So that's why it was never showing up on the TV, or even from, like, the Elgato software screen itself. So, oops. That explains that small little hiatus. And right before that hiatus kind of happened, I was, and still am currently doing Uncharted 2 crushing on my other channel, Hardcorean Guides. Again, you can find that in the description, and also on my channel page and such like that. Currently doing that, going to be doing UMC4 after. Probably just right after, actually. And this channel-wise, I guess more importantly, because it's, well, you know, I guess you could say it's focused on, like, I should be focusing on the channel that I'm playing on. I had a few Let's Play ideas before I took my break, but I don't know if I'm going to want to do them anymore, because I've kind of just tired myself out on for the time being. That's why I'm kind of partly just doing this in general, because, you know, beating the Self series is quite fun. I like fighting games, and Smash is fun, so, you know, why not? A couple of Let's Plays was Fire Emblem on Game Boy, which was going to be, I think it's, well, it's my favorite one. It's the one with Lynn. It's funny because it's my favorite one, but I still always forget the name of it. Like Burning Blade, or, yeah, because it's not Sacred Stones. I think it's Binding Blade. But I always get it mixed up because there's like Burning Blade and stuff, and I don't like play a lot of Fire Emblem. So, but it is my favorite of the Fire Emblems. I probably would have just done Lynn's route only, and then would have called it a day. And I also wanted to do Twilight Princess with my brother co-op, because that was our favorite 3D Zelda game. However, I got to playing and I beat, for the first time ever, Wind Waker. And I loved it so much, I was like, oh fuck, maybe this might actually be my favorite of the 3D Zeldas now. And I was thinking like, oh, I could just do a co-op of that. I was going to do it with my friend, but that was the day when everything kind of went to shit. Because I was honestly thinking it was the cord and just like a bunch of other stuff. Because we ended up doing Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which we are now done with, thank God. Because Sonic Adventure 2 is not terrible, just, you know, it's one of those things where I don't like playing all the time. And also Last Story just makes me very upsetty sometimes. I better not lose my... Yeah, I thought so. You dickhead. But anyway, yeah, Wind Waker was going to be one of them. It was actually going to be a solo at first, but then my friend was over and I'm like, you know what, fudge it, I can't contain it anymore. I want to play Wind Waker right now. I would have done Wind Waker HD. It would have been the first time I actually beat Wind Waker HD, because I beat the GameCube version first, playing on Switch 2, because I don't actually own the GameCube one. But I have owned the Wii U one for years, and never beat it because I'm lazy. But yeah, that was one of the plans. What other Let's Play was there? I can't remember. There was a few, I just don't remember what they were off the top of my head. They were going to be completely new. Ah, you shouldn't have done that. Yeah, shouldn't have done that. Alright, well, that's Mario done. Great. Alright, cool. I could do random, because I think I said this in the last video recording of this I was doing. I was thinking about doing, like you know, a while ago, I was like, oh, I could do, my main first Wario or something, you know, my second, my pocket character, and then like this person's favorite character, this person's main, yada yada yada. But I could also do it randomized, or I don't know how I'm gonna do it. But I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but I don't really plan on doing every character. If I end up doing every character, then great. If I don't, oh well. You know, the series will go on and do whatever. Whatever's going to happen with the series will happen with the series. You know, that's pretty much it. I don't think I have much else to say besides hopefully the series turns out pretty good. And I could try to random characters just to see. It mix it up a little bit more. It'd give me something to actually try to strive for. But I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. I'll figure it out. Anyway, I like this so far. We got one episode. That's better than nothing. And something else to talk about too. On my friend's channel, we did a thing called Mirror Matched. It's basically like beating the self. It's inspired by it. And essentially, we just fight each other instead of fighting a CPU. And one of the first ones we did was Smash Ultimate. We're not done with it yet. We still have like the rest of the cast of Ultimate to do. But I think that this works out pretty good so far. I'm doing my own now. There you go. All right. Anyway, that's it. So take care, everybody.